Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, May 1st, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. Last week, it was announced that Norwood Bank made a generous donation of $60,000 to the Norwood Public School Family Meal Program. NCM was able to catch up with President and CEO John Galvani.
As I know you know, Norwood Bank has always been a huge contributor to the town and the schools on an annual basis. At one of our board meetings, our directors had asked, is there anything in addition we can do considering what's happening with this pandemic? So I called Tony Mazzucco and reached out to him and said, hey, tell us what we can do. And he mentioned the Norwood Fund and the Food Security Fund as something that, especially when he mentioned it was serving 250 families one week, another 350 families the next week. So he thought that would have the most positive impact on the town. So went back to the board and talked to them, and the bank decided that we would sponsor both the month of May and the month of June for those meals. And that's how it all came together.
Thursday, we received some great news from General Manager Tony Mazzucco about getting tested for COVID-19. Here he is with his announcement.
Hi folks, General Manager Tony Mazzucco coming to you with some breaking news and a special announcement. We know that testing as it relates to COVID-19 has been a big concern, and we need to increase testing across the community and across the Commonwealth to make sure we can get over to the other side of the challenges with COVID-19 and begin reopening the community and begin reopening the Commonwealth. I'm here to let you know that in a partnership with Norwood Hospital, we've been able to secure up to 1,000 tests for Norwood residents. So these are tests that will not require the immediate doctor approval or being contacted by public health. They'll be available to Norwood residents beginning next week, and you'll be able to get tested at Norwood Hospital. So these are tests open to anyone, insured or not. So we're very happy to announce this partnership with Norwood Hospital, and we'll have more details coming out in the next couple of days, but we have over about 1,000 tests coming to Norwood for Norwood residents starting next week.
Whether it's a Captain C or an A in the classroom, senior class president and football captain Aiden Pryor is an excellent example of a 4A student. That hard work was recognized this week as Aiden took home a National Football Foundation Special Recognition Award. Our sports reporter Brian Dunn caught up with Aiden to get his thoughts on this incredible honor.
Exceptional student, phenomenal athlete, and great leader are just a few ways to describe senior Aiden Pryor, former captain of the Norwood High football team and recent recipient of the National Football Foundation Eastern Massachusetts Chapter Jack Grinnell Award.
It was actually a surprise when I found out that I won, because I wasn't even that aware that I was being nominated. You know, Coach Lopes asked for some of my information, and he nominated me and filled out an application for me. But so when I got in the mail the other day and found out that I won, you know, it was a great surprise, but I had no clue. And what it is, it's an award from the National Football Foundation and from the Jack Grinnell Eastern Massachusetts chapter. And so 33 senior football players are chosen to be recognized each year based off academics and athletics, and I'm proud to say that I was one of them this year.
It was a very high snap over the quarterback's a pretty tall quarterback.
Basically what happened is Pryor just outfought the
Pryor's leadership on and off the field is outstanding, which is what led head coach Manny Lopes to nominate Pryor just a few months ago.
I mean, obviously, you talked to him. He's a great kid. He's just stand-up class, top to bottom. I mean, I always tell these guys, and we say it every year at our Gridiron Banquet, how, you know, this is the time to really pat these kids on the back, because it's not easy going through a full season, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, anything. To go through that and balance school is tough. You know, he's just a stand-up kid.
And as Pryor will tell you, the key to his success in his high school career, as well as many others, is balance.
Well, it's definitely something that takes finding a balance between academics and athletics. And, you know, you got to make some sacrifices in using your time and your free time to both studying for school and working on the gym. But, you know, it can definitely be achieved. And it just takes a lot of work. But I don't think there's any kid out there that can't do it. You know, you just got to have the right mindset and be willing to put in the work.
As Aiden prepares to say goodbye to Norwood High School, he welcomes a new chapter, as he will be attending Boston College in the fall, majoring in finance. And we know Aiden will do great things. Reporting for Norwood News, I'm Brian Dunn.
Congratulations, Aiden. BC is very lucky to have you. We will be right back after this break for some more town news.
We just want to say thank you to the grocery store employees for supplying our family with food. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi everyone, it's Mike Maloof. I just wanted to thank all postal workers and delivery truck drivers for all the hard work that you guys have put in. You guys are getting all the essential items to the places that they need to be, and that is so important. So thank you.
Thank you to all our first responders for keeping everybody in Norwood safe.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us here at NCM, we just want to thank the food delivery drivers for continuing to give us quality food during this time. Thank you.
I just want to thank all the people that are still out there delivering packages to businesses and our houses and hospitals. Obviously, a lot of the stuff that's being delivered is very important to a lot of people. Doing a great job, and keep it up.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who helps keep our medical facilities working. There's so many people working behind the scenes, so it's important to say thank you to everyone, but especially to the nurses, since my daughter is one.
Welcome back. On Tuesday, the Norwood Fire Department, along with the police, DPW, Light Department, and numerous surrounding towns' fire and police vehicles, paraded from the high school past Norwood Hospital to show appreciation for the men and women working there. For the doctors, nurses, and security guards, it was a very cool moment.
This was so nice. We've had such an outpouring of support from the community. We can't thank them enough. It's often a job that's really hard, and going home knowing that people appreciate you really helps.
Us and the nursing staff and everyone at the hospital works very hard, serving our communities, doing various jobs, and it just meant a lot for the community to come out and, you know, do something for us. It was amazing. We expect nothing, but, you know, it just means a lot for everyone to come together and, you know, help us at the time of need and just help our morale and just keep us going.
We've worked with these guys so many times, and it's just, it's great. It's great that they're sharing in all of this with us and they're supportive of us. It was awesome.
It was really heartwarming, and you know, it's always really great to be remembered. And you know, we're working really hard here, and it's just a really great way to feel connected to the community and to remember that they really are they're supporting us.
It was a very emotional day. It's been a journey, 6-8 weeks of difficult times, stressful situations, and today was a day where all the support for everyone here, all the staff, has just led to an emotional ability to kind of let a little of that out. And I think all of our staff really do appreciate and acknowledge everything that's been going on here today. We can't thank everybody enough for doing this for us.
There's been a decline of emergency room visits across the state and at Norwood Hospital. Let's learn about emergency room health and safety and more. Here is the latest update from Norwood Hospital with Dr. Michael Regan.
So across the state and across the nation, we are seeing a significant drop in emergency department visits. Some locations greater than 50%, some locations lower than that. There are certain hotspot areas of COVID-19 where volumes are significantly elevated, but for the most part across the country, volumes are down. So while there has been some sensationalized messaging that that every emergency department is overwhelmed, that is not the case. And it is not passing any message that we are not able to take care of you for your chest discomfort, for your stroke symptoms, for your appendicitis. It is not appropriate. We are here. We are here, we are capable, we have the space, we can keep you safe. When the coronavirus pandemic started hitting our area, we did see a fair amount of patients with COVID-19. And we've started to see that trail off at our facility to a degree. But what we have also noticed is that patients with all other non-coronavirus, non-COVID emergencies stopped coming. And that is not the message that we've been trying to get out in terms of utilization of the emergency department. We are seeing a significant drop in people presenting with heart attacks. And so people are staying at home with those. People are staying at home with strokes. People are staying at home with appendicitis, diverticulitis, all sorts of rather severe medical emergencies. And rather than coming into the emergency department, they're staying home and suffering the consequences of these. And that is not the message that we want to present and send out to the population. We are here for you. We have plenty of space to be able to take care of patients. Our volume has gone down considerably. We have multiple open beds in the emergency department, and it is safe to be here. We have taken significant measures to ensure that our patients who are not presenting with coronavirus, COVID-19, are just as safe as the ones that, that do have symptoms of the disease. If you are having an emergency of another nature, come to the emergency department. You do not need to call ahead. You can just come in, and we will see you rapidly, treat you appropriately, and take good care of you. We are having everyone wear a mask. As you see, I'm wearing a mask at this time, which decreases transmission from people who have the disease to others as well. We've decreased visitors, not as a punitive measure, but just to decrease the amount of people in the hospital and follow the CDC guidelines on that to decrease the possibility of transmission. Our staff is also wearing masks, and some of them are more intricate than others, mostly because, you know, as people know, there's a national supply issue, and we are doing what we can to make sure we protect ourselves as well. This is one of the masks that you might end up seeing us evaluate you in. This is a commercial grade mask with N95 protection. This is entirely being used just to keep the supply chain of N95s up for everybody else in the hospital who may need them. This is not an indication of severity of illness. This is not an indication that we are scared or concerned to see you. This is only to conserve personal protective equipment for the hospital. But we're here for you. We are absolutely here to take care of any emergent need. We have the space, we have the capability to keep you safe, and you know, we want you to come if you're having an emergency. Please do not stay home and suffer in silence. Please don't do that.
Last Friday, the famous Wahlburger food truck, accompanied by Congressman Joe Kennedy, traveled to the UPS facility in Norwood to hand out food for the hardworking men and women of the Teamsters 25 Union. Congressman Kennedy knows at times like this we have gained a much greater appreciation for all of our essential workers that are making a difference in everyone's lives.
So the folks that are delivering our packages, the folks that are stocking our shelves at a grocery store, the folks that are obviously the nurses and doctors on the front lines of this crisis, but all of the other tens of thousands and millions of workers that just make life function, firefighters, police officers. And so we helped spearhead this effort, again, with Wahlburgers and a national charity from the Crescent Capital Foundation. And they started the rollout of these meals here with delivery to about 35 firehouses across Boston, and a number of police stations as well. Next up was that UPS facility. It's a small token of thanks and gratitude, and try to provide hot meals for a couple hundred of the workers there on Friday. And it was a great thing to be a part of.
Norwood's UPS distribution facility has been extremely busy during this time. They have seen shipping numbers increase to what would normally be seen during the Christmas holiday. For Kennedy, it was a no-brainer to team up with Wahlburgers to give back to these workers.
Wahlburgers stepped up. So I was talking to a friend and that had a connection at Wahlburgers, and they said that they were interested, and we said that, hey, that's great, we'd love to help, and the pieces came together. And I know there's a number of other restaurants and organizations that are kind of doing their own thing, and all of that is great. But a huge tribute to the Wahlberg family and Wahlberg's restaurants to step up and do this. And not only obviously a huge need out there for folks to say, for folks that would love a little bit of a break and a tasty hot meal after a very, very long day, but for an awful lot of other folks that have enormous appreciation for what those workers are doing, just a great way to say thanks.
Kennedy ended with a quick message to the residents of Norwood.
It was a great opportunity for me to be by in Norwood and say thank you to people working in that facility. Oftentimes, not just the drivers that sometimes you'll see, but an awful lot of folks just working in that distribution facility, and to be able to say thank you. And hope everybody is staying healthy and well and getting through this as best we possibly can. But wishing everybody nothing but the best and to stay safe.
Thank you to Congressman Kennedy and Wahlbergers for all you have been doing all over the greater Boston area. Stay tuned after this break for some school and government news. Welcome back. Recently, General Manager Tony Mazzucco had the chance to tour a few of the Norwood school buildings with school officials. He was able to check on the condition of the schools and see improvements that are being done in-house that save the town money.
One of my first stops on my tour was the high school, which is almost 10 years old and absolutely beautiful. The building is in great shape. They have a great regular maintenance program, and the staff there keep the building looking new. Usually buildings like that, they say, have a 50-year lifespan, so it's crazy to think that our high school is almost at 20 years, or almost at 20% of its expected lifespan at 10 years, but the building looks just like it opened yesterday, and kudos to the facilities department there for continuing to do the great work that they do. They're putting up some new monitors in the cafeteria. They've done a lot of the floors and a lot of the other work while schools have been out. Putting this time to use while students are unfortunately at home due to the COVID-19 crisis, they're putting that time, the school facilities group is putting that time to work in the buildings, making repairs and enhancements and making sure that the buildings are clean and in great shape for when students return, and showing some of the possibilities we have once the town has a shared facilities department this coming summer. One of the other buildings I happened to go to was the Oldham Elementary School. Now, we all have opinions on which our favorite elementary school is in Norwood, so I won't say which one my favorite is, but I do happen to live near the Oldham, and it's definitely one of the best, although they're all great elementary schools that we have. There were two projects going on at the Oldham. One in particular was some painting work, painting some Mustang blue throughout the hallways that the staff were able to finally get to now that they had some time with school not in session. They were also making some emergency repairs to the outside of the building, which not only repaired a leak and some storm damage for a few weeks ago at a cost of under $1,000, but also enhanced the look of the building as well. It's a great example of a small project that if we had to contract out would have cost the town many times more than that, but our crew in-house was able to do it for under $1,000. When we begin sharing facilities resources and directing more resources and more funds towards our facilities, we'll be able to do more and more projects like this. It was a great project. It was a small project done, saved the town a lot of money, and was done just as good, if not better, than if we had contracted it out. And it's a great example of what we'll be able to do as we continue to share resources and centralize the facilities functions going forward. Finally, I was able to visit the Callahan School, and what a great amount of work is getting done there. One of the most interesting things they're doing there is they installed faucets that are no-touch, designed to be no-touch or low-touch faucets, replacing some older faucets that you had to hold on to, and they also installed no-touch drinking fountains. So they were able to find, at a relatively low cost, it was around $20 each, attachments to the water fountains. We all remember as kids growing up, going to the water fountain and having to hold the button and sort of slurp from the fountain. Well, to practice good hygiene, we're moving away from that. They now have all been adapted to be bottle fountain-style water fountains. Our facilities crew was able to go in and to do that at just the cost of the faucets, which were about $20 a piece. It's another great example of the work being done by the NPS facilities team throughout all of our schools. while schools are shut down due to the COVID emergency, but it's also an example of what's to come in all of our buildings, town buildings and school buildings, and all the different things we're going to be able to do going forward, saving the taxpayers money, investing more money in our facilities, and keeping our buildings in great shape. So kudos to Paul Riccardi and Chris Folan, the head of the facilities department. We're looking forward to a new department starting in July after town meeting approves this year's coming budget, which will provide for more trade skills and more resources to make sure that we can do even better than we're doing for all the users of our buildings and all the students in the school district. So we're looking forward to it, and kudos to the great work being done by the facilities department.
If you have driven around Norwood in the past few weeks, you may have noticed signs on front lawns honoring this year's high school graduating class. This situation has been particularly hard on these kids who have lost traditions of prom, spring sports, and even graduation. Caitlin Nodebart, a teacher at NHS, was part of the group of teachers who placed the signs on the lawns.
The idea of the senior lawn signs was started by Miss McDonald, and she then reached out to PTO, and they were able to help fund the project, so we were able to go forward with it. And then Miss McDonald sent in a nice email to all the staff and guidance counselors to see if anyone else wanted to help plant the signs at night, and we thought it was a really good idea to do it at night so that the seniors would wake up in the morning and they would be on their front lawn, and it would be a nice surprise for them.
Nodebart knows that this is a very special group of seniors.
I really just want the seniors to know that we love them so much and we really miss them, and even though they're missing out on the best part of their senior year, it doesn't take away from what they've accomplished over their 17, 18 years of life, and we'll always love them, and they'll always have a home back in Norwood and at Norwood High.
Now we toss it over to our good friend Brian Dunn with sports.
Hello again, and welcome to the Sports Update. First off, let me say congratulations to Aiden Pryor on his recognition. Just a fantastic individual making Norwood proud. In that same regard, it was announced earlier last week that Jaden Ryan and Michael Catalano will be playing beyond the school on the hill. Jaden's off to join his brother Cam to play club baseball at Elon, and Michael is committed to play lacrosse at NEC. Let's catch up with these seniors.
And yeah, I've always loved baseball, and especially with my senior season getting cut short, I kind of realized that I would still like the opportunity to play more, and just maybe if not on the varsity level, like the club level, because I know how much he's loved and he's talked about it. So yeah, I think through that I just that really inspired me to want to do club baseball. I love to play sports, so that was like a little bit of a factor, and I realized that Elon would allow me to still play baseball while being there, so it helped me choose.
So I was looking through schools, and I just happened to come across NEC, and I saw that their team was pretty good, and I reached out to the coach and was asking him questions about the team, and he responded. So then I went up, met with him, talked about the lacrosse team, the program, the school, and it seemed like a good fit for me. So then a few weeks later, I told him I wanted to play for him, and he said that was fine, so I committed. It's surreal. I'm happy. I just need to focus now on my grades, the academic part of it, and the athletic part. And I need to keep myself in shape over this quarantine to be ready to go in and play for them, hopefully, and get some time.
Thank you, gentlemen, and good luck. And for the end of my sports update this week, I want to take the time to address the class of 2020. With the spring sports season canceled, let me just express how sorry I am that you don't get to wear the jersey one last time, or you don't get the last run that you were hoping for. But more importantly, on behalf of not only myself, but all of us that have the pleasure of watching you play week in and week out, let me say thank you for the awesome memories, for the moments that will be remembered forever, and for the passion and dedication that you all have so inspired us all. All of you are going to do great things when your time here at Norwood High comes to a close, and you all have laid a foundation for a newfound success here for NHS sports. But for now, it is my mission to continue to tell your story and continue to pay tribute to you, the class of 2020. Thank you and good luck. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Meeting via GoToMeeting, the Board of Health held their first meeting since the COVID-19 emergency began in late February. The board reviewed data regarding COVID cases on a local level. The data was provided by Health Department Superintendent Sigal Reese.
So the red line is cumulative cases. So that's adding up all our cases really since the first day of March 1st. And that's the increase of all cases. the blue line is the the weekly count of cases. And we can see, you know, we start out with 5, we went to 11, 34. So this is the number we have for that week indicated below on the graph. We did see a little, you know, a plateau between from the 4th to the 11th and then the 12th to the 18th. This number here at the end, I think, is a little deceiving. It looks pretty small right now with 34 last week. I would say when I run this at the end of this week, I bet that number will go up because of the delay in reporting.
After reviewing data, the board then turned to sanitarian Angelo DeLuca for an update on essential and non-essential businesses following social distancing requirements.
Okay. Yes, as far as I'm aware, I mean, I've been to several locations, and they all have the color tape on the floor. They have signage about social distancing and all that. So, so far, so good. So hopefully it stays that way. And again, as soon as we hear from the governor and his guidelines, and we'll go from there.
The Board of Health will be meeting again on Monday, May 18th at 10:30 a.m. The Board of Selectmen met remotely for their usual Tuesday night meeting. With no public hearing scheduled, the board moved right into new business, which included discussion of the FY 2021 budget and an update regarding the retirement inquiry from Director of Finance and Accounting, Tom McQuaid.
Based on that process that I just described and the fact that these people applicants have been advised the whole thing's on hold, the process is on hold, where we are in the budget, having to get through this town meeting and then close out the fiscal year and other matters that need to be done, I think it makes sense to accept Mr. McQuaid's offer to stay on. Personally, I'd like to see some type of limit at this time, like ask him to stay on for another year and have the manager start the process again, say in January, so that we have a nice, timely process to find a replacement. That's my initial thoughts at this time.
The board voted unanimously to keep Mr. McQuaid on for the duration of his contract. Mark Ryan joined the board later in the meeting to review the DPW road paving project. The board voted in favor of the DPW's road plans. Tony Mizuko, at the conclusion of the meeting, discussed the governor's recent stay-at-home order extension and the tentative plan beyond that date with an update on Norwood Hospital capacity.
Mr. Maloney mentioned Norwood Hospital and in general where we're going with COVID-19 as a whole. The governor extended the stay-at-home order until May 18th. We don't know whether that will be extended beyond then. They're looking at possibly having some sort of a phase 1 of opening either after that or perhaps a few weeks after that May 18th date. The hospital numbers have been stable. They have not hit capacity. We have here Norwood Hospital as of yesterday was at around 60% capacity. That's a good thing. We did not see an overload of hospitals, which was beneficial. As we relax social distancing protocols, you will see those numbers tend to trend up. But luckily, we have not had a capacity issue at the hospital as of yet. They have run out of testing. They have been able to test with the doctor's order all the way from when they tested their first patient from COVID-19, which I believe was actually myself about 7 or 8 weeks ago.
The selectmen will meet again next week. Wednesday night, the school committee met to cover a number of items on their agenda. Following the approval of minutes, Dr. Thompson provided the committee with some good news about a teacher in the district.
We are sharing our congratulations with high school teacher Molly Uppenkamp. Molly was just awarded the Outstanding Educator in Teaching Physics Award. It's a statewide award. So we want to say congratulations to her, and well deserved. She walks, talks, and chews gum doing civics. She is amazing. I had the joy of going on a forced march through Washington on the civics trip a couple years ago. She's an amazing individual and an amazing educator, and this is a well-deserved honor.
The committee had an appearance from Kristen Capizio of the Extended Day Program. Most of the discussion was centered around the fees for the Extended Day Program. This was just an informational presentation and there was no vote taken. During the budget, Ms. Sheridan and Dr. Wyeth provided a report on the grants, and committee members Bodenhofer and Stewart updated everyone on the budget subcommittee. To end the meeting, the committee made 2 votes to continue paying 2 different departments of Norwood Public Schools.
All right, so the motion made by Maya and seconded by Dave Catania is to pay Extended Day at least through May 4th at this time. So on that motion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Was that unanimous? Yes. Okay. So 5-0.
So I will make a motion to continue paying food services employees through the remainder of the school year.
Okay, is there a second on that motion?
Happy to second.
All right, thank you, Dave. Discussion on that motion to pay food services through the rest of the school year. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that is unanimous as well, 5-0. All right, thank you.
The next school committee meeting will be May 13th. Thursday night, Dr. Thompson hosted a virtual Oldham principal forum for the 2 finalists for next year's Oldham principal job. Each finalist had 45 minutes to introduce themselves and field questions presented to them from Dr. Thompson and parents. The first finalist of the night was Michael Banks, an assistant middle school principal in Lowell. Banks has been in the education field for 25 years. The second finalist was Stephen Olson, the chief academic officer and principal at Seven Hills Charter School in Worcester. Olson has also been in education field for 25 years. NCM is broadcasting both forums in full on the NCM Government Channel. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for some more town news.
Hi, Sigal Reese, Norwood's Public Health Director. I want to remind residents that we are still following the governor's guidelines to stay home as much as possible. But I also want people to know it's okay to go outside and enjoy the outdoors. You can take a walk with your family or take a bike ride and get some exercise. But it's also important to maintain that social distancing from others and that 6-foot separation. You can also wash your hands before you leave and when you come home. But the most important thing is to avoid gathering in large groups. We don't want to see groups of people playing basketball or other contact sports, and we need to maintain social distancing. So definitely go out, enjoy the fresh air, but do it in a safe way, and together we can all stop and slow the spread of COVID-19.
Welcome back. Living Local is one of our regular segments on Norwood News that profiles businesses in town. Many of these businesses have been shut down due to COVID-19, and we thought we would check in on some of them to see how they are doing. NCM's Roger Cummings sits on stage with Bill Hurley at the Fallout Shelter, which has become the coolest place for music on Friday and Saturday nights.
Hi, I'm Roger Cummings here for Norwood Community Media. With me today is Bill Hurley, who is the producer of the Fallout Shelter here in Norwood, one of the hidden gems of Norwood that more and more people are starting to find out about. Some great musical talent shows up here on a regular basis. But unfortunately, during the virus, we've had some issues, or they've had some issues with being able to put some shows on. So, Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the virus has affected you and some of the great shows that you had planned for the future?
Well, Roger, welcome.
Thank you.
To the
Great
Fallout Shelter. Empty, scary.
It is scary.
Yeah, it's affected us the same as it's affected pretty much every business, and you know, we're not able to have anything in here actually because, you know, even if it was just a band and the staff, it exceeds the 10 people that they recommend gather in any one particular spot. So it's affected us the same as pretty much everybody else. Yeah.
So what have you got planned for the future? While we're still all basically social distancing, what have you got planned for the future, and how can people out there actually access it and see it and enjoy it?
May 8th, 9th, and 10th, and we're doing a 3-day shelter at home blues festival.
Really?
And it's 8 hours a day of streaming. It's from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then a 1-hour break, and then 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's 37 bands. We're doing lower thirds for local restaurants from Canton, Sharon, Foxborough, Norwood, Westwood, Walpole, the immediate area that affects the Fallout Shelter. And we're urging people to get carry-out or curbside pickup. And a lot of the restaurants are putting together little like blues plate specials.
Nice.
And
that's great.
So we're trying to do something to help out the local restaurants, and we're also soliciting sponsorships for local food banks and other nonprofits that are helping the arts community. So that's the immediate thing, is May 8, 9, and 10. YouTube /user/alternate route 1. Facebook is facebook.com/EP EPS, Fallout Shelter, and EPS is Extended Play Sessions, but we don't use that whole name, so it's just EPS Fallout Shelter. And Twitch is twitch.com/Extended Play Sessions. Starts at Friday, May 8th at 1 p.m. It's going to be an incredible Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of blues. We're calling it 3 days of peace and blues.
Absolutely. Just
So,
an incredible
tune
talent.
in.
Yeah. So we've got this partnership now that we're putting together with the Extended Play Fallout Shelter rather, and Norwood Community Media. So we'll be seeing a lot of this reproduced on Norwood Cable as well, to try to, again, emphasize some of the wonderful things that are being done down here at the Fallout Shelter and some of the great local music. If you've never been down here, once all of this comes and goes, you have to come down here. This is absolutely the best venue for live music at such an affordable price, with food and drinks, and it's a very intimate kind of, exchange between the artists and with Bill. It's just an incredible venue, incredible music, and a wonderful time. So we hope you'll join us as we kick off this whole partnership.
Thanks, Roger and Bill, and please support the Fallout Shelter's 3-day Blues Festival. Tune in later this month as NCM starts our new partnership and begins rebroadcasting concerts from the Fallout Shelter. A few weeks ago, Norwood and Medway, in an effort of competitive spirit and fun, challenged each other to a social media battle of the Mustangs, where both towns would submit photos and videos of certain challenges. Norwood represented well and got the win. But lots of families and kids enjoyed the challenges. Recreation Program Director Katie Seastead explains the idea.
So we did the Battle of the Mustangs. It was between Medway Mustangs and obviously the Norwood Mustangs. We work closely with the Metro West for kind of coming up with fun and creative ideas virtually. So we had thought a Battle of the Mustangs, myself and Julie, the director of Medway, would be a fun way to get families interacting and having some fun, but also competitive. We came up with a list of a variety of different events, thinking, reach out to people of all aspects, whether it was sports related or coloring. So we just wanted to have some fun. We had I think we had 8 or 9 challenges. So we were just looking at posts. So I think we had a little over 130 posts altogether. And so we beat Medway, which was awesome. We had a lot of families that would do every single challenge. And I think that was really cool to feel that support from our town, just because we do put a lot of time and effort into this. So the people that kept on coming on continuously, it was really rewarding for us as a rec department to look at these families and say they got our back. But yeah, we won. We're excited. We've actually been challenged by 7 different towns right now. Other rec departments have reached out to us to say, hey, we're willing to challenge you. So now we're just trying to figure out if we're going to be up for that challenge, or if we're just going to stay with one and just be champions for this time.
Thanks, Katie, and I am confident that Norwood can defend the title. The Norwood Trails Committee has been busy mapping out community walking spaces and options responsible for healthy recreation on our local trails. They currently just rolled out online games, learning tools, and scavenger hunt type activities that can be downloaded right at home. Sue Bartlett explains all these fun activities going on.
So what we have available on our website, on the Trails website, is a bunch of different activities. Either you can download them and print them, or you can digitally look at them on your phone as you're here. But I just wanted to say a few things as we're walking down this trail. There should be activities for almost every age group. We kind of try to make it family friendly. So if you're here as a group with a family with different age kids, there should be activities that each age level could probably enjoy as you walk. So I'll just start out with a couple of examples. One of them, we have a trail scavenger hunt. This is probably one of the easier activities that we have available. It just has pictures, different things you might see on a trail. So maybe a younger child would be able to find, find some rocks, find some tree branches, maybe a pine cone or two, things like that, just identified by pictures. So this is one of the activities that you can download from our website. Another one that's kind of maybe a little bit more advanced for maybe an elementary school, young elementary school student, would be find the alphabet on a trail. So it's basically an idea of it has all the letters of the alphabet, and as you're walking, maybe try and find something that begins with each letter of the alphabet as you go. So maybe A, you might find an acorn, things like that. And the child can like go through the whole alphabet and see if during the time you're here at the park that you can get every letter of the alphabet.
Tune in to NCM to watch the full episode of Trails Committee Show, where they highlight all the activities and maps they have been working on. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic in Norwood, the health department has been using what is called contact tracing to inform residents if they have been in contact with a person who has been tested for COVID. Recently, the police department has seen an increased number of scam calls that are disguised as contact tracers. In a post this week, the police department informed residents that contact tracers working with the Norwood Health Department will be reaching out to residents who have tested positive for COVID-19 to trace close contacts they've had with other people. Callers will identify themselves and indicate they are working with the Norwood Health Department. During the calls, they will also ask people's date of birth, address, and email address, but not their social security numbers. In addition, they will ask about who might have been in contact with you for 48 hours before you began to have symptoms. Tracers will also be calling residents that have been in close contact with people who test positive, you might know who you were exposed to ask them to quarantine for 14 days. The state is also conducting calls with positive cases and contacts. State callers will be calling from the Community Tracing Collaborative, the CTC, and the caller ID will say Mass COVID Team. Remember, callers will never ask for your social security numbers or any financial information. If you feel like you've been scammed, please call the police department. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.